Hey guys, today I'm gonna tell the story about how I fell into a frozen lake and almost when I was like 15. It's kinda ironic that I'm wearing a Jesus shirt considering no amount of praying saved us that day. It was pure luck that one of us didn't get in the boat. I still can't believe that we did this, but since we didn't perish, it's kind of funny now. It's like a crazy thing I can tell my kids. But I don't plan on having kids, which is why I'm gonna tell you instead. You're welcome. If you wanna see my full shirt, let me stand up. This is as far as I'm going, okay? But look, it says, be gay, do crime, which, don't actually do the second part, but for sure do this part because Jesus would want you to. You can't tell me that he wasn't a bit fruity. I mean, he had all those disciples following him. For what? For what? Why were none of them women? Huh? The story that I'm about to tell happened on December 10th, 2013, and I remember the date because, again, I almost died, all right? I'm not going to forget the day that I almost died to some stupidity, but in my defense, it wasn't my idea, okay? It wasn't my idea, and it went good the first few times, and then we got a little bit overzealous, and yeah, I'll get to that. December 10th, 2013, my school called off for the day because it was 18 degrees outside and there was a lot of snow. So my boyfriend texted me and said, hey, we're gonna go sled riding at the pond right behind our house. Would you like to come? And I was on that like flies on doo-doo because I love sled riding. I still sled ride, okay? We have a hill back there. I sled ride on it. There is no age where you're too old to act like a fool. But don't do what we did, okay? Don't do this. I pack up all of my stuff. I bring some extra clothes, lucky for me. I was gonna need them. And I wait for my boyfriend to pick me up. He does. We go to his house, and then we pile the sleds into his mom's van, and we take that van over to where the pond is, which is like 400 meters behind their house. That's a quarter mile for those of you that don't measure everything in meters because you weren't a distance runner like me, okay? That's the only way my brain can understand distance is if I go by meters, by miles, bro. Meters and miles are my friend. We make it to the pond and we goof around for a bit. We're goofing around. We're just using the sleds, going down the hill, doing normal stuff. Until one of the boys, I don't know if it was my boyfriend or his brother, Michael. My boyfriend, his name's Matt. He swore up and down at the time that it was not his idea, but I remember him saying it. I swear on everything, I remember him suggesting it, but he denies it. Whatever. Dude's a bit weird, okay? The point is, one of the boys came up with the idea to grab one of the boats that you use to paddle around the lake in and drag that up the hill a ways and then get in it and use that to sled down the hill and then into the pond a bit. Not that far into the pond, like a few feet. We thought we would go into the pond a few feet. Well, we all pile in, and by we all, I mean, it was me, it was Michael, and it was Michael's friend. And my boyfriend is the one that got behind the boat and pushed us all, after we lugged it up there. He pushes us down, we slide down the hill really fast, and we break into the surface of the pond, and we only go out like 4 feet. So we're able to paddle back with our hands and get back out onto land, and it was fine. So fine that we did it a second time, and it went fine again. We went out a few feet, nothing happened, and we thought we found this glorious new way to sled ride. How cool, right? So the third time we're dragging the boat up, I convinced my friend Carly, who is also there, to get in too. That means there's 4 of us instead of 3. Now, you professionals out there tell me if there's more weight like that in the boat, would that cause us to go out further? Or go down the hill faster? I'm just wondering, because you'd think it would make you go slower. But also, I need to add, that particular time where Matt pushed us down the hill, because remember, my boyfriend was the pusher. He was never in the boat. He came up with the idea, but he never actually did it. That's usually how it goes. For some reason, on this time, I don't know if he thought that he needed to give it more oomph as we went down the hill, because there were more people, or if he just got excited, but he ran faster, okay? He used all of his strength and all of his training from distance running to shove that boat down that hill, okay? We're cruising across the snow like Balto on ice, okay? We burst across the pond. We don't go just a few feet, guys. We don't go just a few feet. We go many feet. So far that I don't think we would have been able to paddle back with just our hands. No matter what happened, Matt was gonna have to come out on another boat and get us. But of course the worst happens, because why wouldn't it? With the momentum that the boat went into the water, it kind of tilted to the side, back and forth a bit, and that caused water to keep coming in. Even though none of us were moving, the boat kept rocking like that. I remember Michael looking at me and Carly's and screaming, "Quit rocking the boat! Quit rocking the boat! We're gonna sink!" And I said to him, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. It's the boat. It's the momentum. It's not me. Don't blame me for this. It felt like I was on one of those Ferris wheels where they tell you not to rock the thing, but it rocks anyway. And then your friends yell at you like, are you moving it? Are you moving it? No, bro, I'm sitting here just like you. It's just the freaking wind. Calm down. You're freaking out and panicking is causing it to rock, which is kind of what I told Michael. You're the one freaking out. Maybe you should sit still. It didn't matter, guys. It didn't matter if we were sitting still or if we were moving it, because the water wasn't stopping. It the boat was going like this, and it wasn't stopping. More and more water was coming in. My legs are cold, okay? My legs are starting to get cold. Those snow clothes, they were starting to feel pretty heavy. Me and Michael lock eyes again, okay? At this point, we're not even paying attention to Matthew. We don't know what he's doing. We lock eyes and we have the same thought, okay? Because we're kind of sharing the same brain cell. If it was Michael and Matthew's idea, I'm the one that was the right-hand man saying, yeah, let's do that. That's great. So we were kind of on the same wavelength of, okay, we got ourselves into this situation. This boat is going to sink. We need to swim out now because we're just going to get colder and colder, and we need to get there now before we get too cold. So that's when Michael goes, we need to abandon ship. And I say, yeah, we do. Let's go. I didn't want everybody to hesitate. So I just plunged right in, okay? Because at this point, I can just do this, all right? I just wade out of the boat. And then Michael comes, and then Carly comes, and then Michael's friend gets out. So now we're all in the water. We're all four of us are in the water immediately, guys. The moment I went like this, it felt like a million needles of cold were stabbing into my body all over. If it was 18 degrees out and snowing, I don't know how cold that would make the water. Someone let me know below that is good at figuring that out. And I'm talking 18 degrees Fahrenheit because I'm in the USA, okay? We didn't want to convert to Celsius, all right? We're difficult. I don't know why, but we are. So remember, this is all in Fahrenheit. But I think the water would have been way colder than the air is, right? Like I'm assuming it would have been colder. I don't know how much colder, but cold enough that shock immediately hit my body. Like the moment I was feeling those pins and needles, my body was also going into shock. I keep doing this. I think I swam maybe 10 feet closer to shore before I wasn't moving forward anymore. I was making this motion, but I wasn't moving forward anymore, and neither was anybody else. And we'd been in the water for about 60 seconds at this point. I think hypothermia can strike within a minute and a half of being in water like that. If it weren't for Matthew, who at this point already had a boat and was in the water paddling towards us, the moment he saw us doing this, he knew we were gonna go in the water too. And he was able to think ahead and understand that it was up to him to get us out of there because we probably weren't gonna be able to make it in time because of how quickly the coldness can shock your body and lock your muscles and basically make you... We were gonna drown. I don't know if we would have frozen to death and then drowned, or if we wouldn't have been able to even move our arms at all and keep our heads above water. I'm not really sure, but that didn't matter because Matthew reached us with the boat, okay? Because his idea went really wrong that I also encouraged. We all start grabbing the sides of the boat, and Matthew's like, whoa, no, one at a time, or you're gonna flip it, and then we're all gonna be cooked. One at a time we get in. I think I was the first one in. I grabbed the sides with my arms, pulled my chest up, and then I was slowly able to get my one leg up over the side, and then pull myself all the way in. I didn't watch anybody else get in. I think Michael ended up just hanging onto the side while Carly got in with me. And I don't know what Michael's friend was doing. I think he got in too. Matthew paddles us back to shore and we all get out. And Carly had the bright idea of saying, hey, take off your clothes because they're super cold and dripping wet and we'll be warmer at this point without them. So we start pulling our clothes off. And I'm glad she said that because I don't even think my dumb teenage stupid brain would have thought to take the clothes off. I think I would have left them on. I really don't know. Which is another thing to note. Those clothes were so heavy, guys. Like I could barely put one foot in front of the other because I was still in shock. My muscles were stiff and the clothes were so heavy, but I was able to get them off. I think my boyfriend helped. My boyfriend ended up carrying me to the van and putting me in the seat. And it's like, thank God we brought the van because we almost walked. And that would have sucked if we would have had to walk all the way back to the house. I feel like if that were the case, we would have all piled around each other for body heat, and Matthew probably would have ran to the house to get a parent and car keys and then came back and got us that way. But luckily we were able to get directly in the car. The drive was so short back to his house that it didn't even matter to put the heat on, right? Like, because it wouldn't even have warmed up in time. When we get to the house, we have to tell his mom, and she's immediately like livid, but more calm than my parents would react, so I thought. And she immediately was like, I'm gonna make hot chocolate. You guys need to go get in the showers and warm up. And the boys were like, no, we're fine. We're fine. We don't need to. But she made the girls, so me and Carly, get in the hot shower, which I actually heard that you're not supposed to do that when you've been in really cold water like that for that long, which I would say we were in the water for max 2.5 minutes. When you're in the water for that long, I don't think you're supposed to immediately get in hot water like that, but she yelled at me too. I said that I was fine too. I was visibly shaking because I was in stage 1 of hypothermia. So she's like, no, you're literally shaking in front of me. You need to go get in the shower. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go get in the shower. So I get in the shower. The warm water feels good, but my body, like, it wouldn't stop shaking. And I shook for like 2 or 3 hours after that. And I believe that I read somewhere that if I didn't immediately get in hot water after being in that cold water like that, my body wouldn't have been in shock as long. It's actually dangerous to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I heard that somewhere, that you're not supposed to do that. And I think that while my boyfriend's mom was trying to be helpful for us, I think she made it worse. Because I don't think I would have been shaking like that long after. I don't know. We didn't go to the ER. I don't know if we probably should have. I don't know what kind of damage you can get to your body from that. I don't even think she told my parents. I think I told her that I was gonna tell them when I got home, so she didn't bother calling. Probably should have called my parents right away, because it's kind of bad to hear from the kid, and then they're like, why didn't that mother tell us what just happened? Why didn't they call us? Maybe we would have came and got you. Cheryl didn't do that. I think I convinced her not to. I'm like, listen, I know my parents. It'll be easier coming for me. Don't call them, okay? They might not let me come over here again. That came up in conversation, trust me. I get out of the hot shower. I shiver and shake for 2 to 3 hours. Her mom gives us hot cocoa. We played the game of life for a bit, and then my boyfriend's got to go to practice, and I decided to go home. Why did they have basketball practice still when it was canceled for snow and cold weather? Why was basketball practice still at 3? I have questions. Anyway, I ended up getting taken home, I think, by his mom. I think when we went to pick him up from basketball practice, they just took me right on home. So I go home. I tell my parents thinking, my mom's gonna freak out. She's gonna be livid. I'm gonna be grounded for months. No, that's not what happened. My dad, the chill one, freaked out, and my mom laughed. My mom, who freaked out, cussed me out and grounded me because she thought that when I was sitting outside on the porch watching it rain, that I was going to get sick and have a terrible cross-country season. She wouldn't let me sit on the porch and watch the rain with my father because she thought I would get sick and run bad. Laughs when she hears that I almost froze to death in a lake. Are you serious? This is just proof that narcissistic parents have whack priorities. Because she thought it was funny. My dad was mad though. He's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you even do that? He was angry. And it's like, dude, you've done even dumber stuff. My dad literally used to do speed so he could stay up for days when he was truck driving and not have to stop for breaks. And he could get to California and back faster. Like, he was wild and out as a youngster. So I don't know why he was being so judgmental, okay? I don't think I was allowed to sled ride with Matt ever again. We just weren't allowed to do that, which I understand. I remember that Monday I told my coaches what happened too. I was telling everybody this story. I called it Titanic Part 2. This was 2013, so that joke was more appropriate. I don't know if I'd get canceled for saying that now, so that's why I'm not gonna title this story Titanic Part 2, because that would be offensive. But that's what I would call it as a kid, as a 15-year-old. Yeah, Titanic Part 2. My coaches were pissed. They didn't think it was funny at all. I don't know if they really cared about my life or that if I passed away, we wouldn't have as many points on the distance in that season. I would like to think it was both. But I don't know. I wanted to try pole vault instead of distance, and my coach wouldn't let me because he said, we need you on the distance side. You could get hurt. We're not letting you do that. So it wouldn't surprise me if his first thought was, dang, we almost lost all of our best runners. Me, Carly, Matt, all of us. Season would have sucked that year. The coach I'm talking about, his name rhymes with Penny. It wasn't even our main distance coach. If anybody from back home is watching this. I'm talking about the other guy. This happened right at the start of winter track training, so he would kind of be in there with our distance coach, whose name is Rob. I've talked about him on my shorts, Coach Rob. He's been in a lot of my shorts, my POVs, like my little skits. I want to do more stories about him because he's a good guy overall, but he did some weird stuff when he was coach. Like, he failed a lot and kind of traumatized me. But who hasn't traumatized me? I'm Jess. I have all the trauma. You know what? I'm just going to start giving trauma out, so, to take some weight off my back. I'm just kidding. That sounds horrible when you put it like that. Although I know I've traumatized some people out there. Sorry. We're a work in progress, okay? When you have Linda as a mom. When you almost freeze to death in a lake because you have this dumb idea of taking a boat and I don't know. Don't do that. Seriously, don't do that. We could have been, if Matt had been in the boat with us, or if there hadn't been any boats for Matt to rescue us in, I don't think he could have got help from an adult in time, because the neighbors, the house closest to where we were in the pond, I don't even know if they could see us from their windows. So by the time Matt ran to get help from someone, and we would have froze to death. Don't do what we did. Could have lost my life. Then I wouldn't be here to tell you this funny story. Make mistakes, but not that. Don't make mistakes that put your life in danger. Anyways, that's all. I'll see you guys here next week at the same time, Friday at 2. Bye!